everyone, this is my archival project that I wanted us to look at today. So this comes from floridamemory.com and the State Library Archives of Florida. So looking at Zora Neale Hurtson and her involvement with the WPA, which stands for the Work Projects Administration. She began working for them in 1938, and not only is she an author, but she's also an anthropologist and a folklorist. So she really values the idea of telling stories and kind of representing these themes of identity and culture and community within song and different collection of some different documents and things that are featured within this archive. But I wanted us to specifically look at an essay that Hurtson is working on during this time with the Federal Writers Project. So basically, she is kind of exploring different communities in the state of Florida. And before we get into this essay, I wanted to showcase some of these pictures. So here's a postcard with a portrait of her. And these are also other members of the Federal Writers Project. So this is the director. And then this is the project photographer. So the essay we're going to be looking at is her turpentine. I hope I'm saying that correctly. But this provides a little bit of context and some background as to her essay Turpentine and her travels through the pine forest with an African-American woods writer named John McFarland. So her Turpentine Camps essay is still considered authoritative because it kind of provides insight to the working conditions at the time and what these people have experienced. So I've made a series of notes that I wanted us to talk about, and specifically how this project documents the lives and traditions of African Americans during the Great Depression. Because she's working on this project in 1938, this is towards the end of the Great Depression, but we are in the South, so they do feel the long-term effects pretty significantly. And this also kind of showcases the effect of the New Deal as well when we read some of these components of the essay. But before we dive in, here are some other pictures. This is the children of a turpentine plantation in Brooksville, Florida. We also have some short background information. Turpentine is considered this kind of resin material that you can use for cosmetics and even paint thinner. So it talks about paints, medicines, hairspray, cosmetics. Here is a picture of someone that is getting the turpentine from a tree. And I won't spend too much time on these pictures, but you can definitely go back and look at all of these photos. And let's talk about the essay. Okay, so I chose this essay specifically because it kind of captures the struggles and the triumphs of different African American communities and kind of what they were experiencing during this time with these turpentine camps. And the goal that Hurtson's trying to accomplish here is to provide commentary and expose the kind of isolation that is taking place and the terrible working conditions and abuses going on at this time. It was considered unusual for a writer to be allowed to gather information, so she's kind of conducting her own archival work at this time. So if you go to documents on this page, you can find her essay here. And I won't read every essay. They're pretty short, but there are transcriptions given. So it begins right here, the bottom of this first page. Well, I put on my shoes and I started going up some roads and down some others to see what, and I'm not going to say this word because I'm pretty sure this is derogatory, so I want to be sensitive to language. Do for a living. Going down one road, I smelt hot rosin and looked and saw a gum patch. That's a turpentine still to the outsider, but gum patch to those who work them. And this is kind of like a dialogue that is taking place. So almost like an interview style of John McFarland. And it's pretty short, but it provides kind of an insight into their workday. So that was pretty much the goal that Hurtson is trying to capture here. And The reason that I chose this essay is for us to better understand the novel and kind of its historical and cultural significance through looking at this essay and how it provides specific examples that shed light on themes and contexts such as community and the self. So, talking about that self representation and kind of that sense of identity that we see both in this essay and Their Eyes Were Watching God. And just looking at this transcription here, the foreman gets $12.50 a week. The foreman's house, all the firewood he wants, and all the gardening space he wants. He said shyly that he would raise in wages, but feels that he would not get it. He wants to know if the government is sending people around to make folk pay better wages. He hopes so. So this is also kind of providing insight into the New Deal that is trying to be kind of that response to the Great Depression. And so we're seeing real-time kind of insight into the communities that were affected and the industries that were also affected. So basically, this essay kind of offers a glimpse into the cultural dynamics and social hierarchies of African American communities during this time period in the early 20th century. So Hurtson's vivid descriptions of these camps and the interactions among the workers were valuable cultural contexts that kind of portray this community and community life that we see also in Their Eyes Were Watching God. So just kind of understanding these different nuances that help to frame our text a little bit better. But looking at themes of labor exploitation in this essay and racial inequality and these different community dynamics. And also just how it helps us to better understand some of the characters that we read about within the novel. So that is pretty much all I have for the archive, and feel free to go back and explore because there are a lot of different components to this page as well, such as the documents media page. You can listen to different audio clips, so sound recordings by Zora Neale Hurtson. So I thought this was neat as well, and it does kind of showcase her background as a folklorist.
I got that old black gal is a spiking song that I got down there in Miami and was sung by Max Ford, the singing line on this construction crew.
What's used for?
Used for spiking down the rails. That old black gal keep on grumbling.
So I won't play the whole clip, but it does showcase kind of, we know she is a writer of the Harlem Renaissance movement and kind of giving them a voice and showcasing their sense of culture and recognition during this time and creating this movement for themselves. So I thought this was pretty cool as well. You can go back through and listen to all of these audio clips. But yeah, thank you all for watching and listening.